must have.
Hey, what happened? He just...
Haribol is got disconnected.
Okay, he'll be back. So he just had some few
Prabhu,
questions.
sometimes your material questions can't be answered, you know. So Krishna manifests like this. He disconnected him, no?
Okay, he's coming back. Just 1 second, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Okay.
See
Yeah, I
you.
don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, very audible.
Yeah. I'm just getting used to using Zoom in the laptop. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, I
John,
wanted to ask
So,
Prabhuji,
where
I
are you
wanted to-
located?
So in India, so north of India, near Delhi, maybe 100 kilometers from Delhi. Yeah, that's where I'm located, Rewari. Ji.
North of Delhi?
Ji. No, near Delhi, maybe 100 kilometers of Delhi. So in Haryana, a small town, Rewari.
Oh, Haryana.
Ji, Haribol. So
Very nice.
yeah. So Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, let's say my dream is to open a center, right? Open a center for preaching, and maybe mainly some devotees can live together and like practice Krishna consciousness under Prabhupada's shelter and just guide one another. And then maybe like set an example, use the center as an example, how other people can maybe make some content, post on internet. Maybe some people can get inspired and they can open their center in wherever they are in the world. And also people like keep it open to somebody to come and get trained. First, of course, we need to get trained, but then later on they can come and get trained, and then go to their respective places and then open maybe a center like that, and just gather.
That's exactly what Prabhupada planned. That's exactly what Srila Prabhupada planned, how he did it, and even how he expressed doing it the way you just did. So that's exactly perfectly Prabhupada consciousness.
Sure, Prabhuji. Yeah. So my first thing is like how to. So I think I got mixed up with before with the concept of Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru. So both of the Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru will be Prabhupada, and we will be like God brothers and God sisters, just helping one another, guiding one another. I just wanted to confirm like how, and I've seen the Diksha process. I like the Expon Bangalore one, how they slowly make people move towards Prabhupada. So first you come, join, do one round and like make commitment to do just one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and just follow like very basic in the beginning you don't even have to like follow the four principle hardcore, but slowly you just come.
But you'd be surprised how quickly people can.
Yeah.
And and how quickly, it depends what they're doing, if they're working at a job or whatever. But if they're living in the temple, there's no reason they can't chant 16 rounds right away.
Yeah, sure. And even people
Go ahead.
Yeah, even people living outside, I think they have made the process like that. In like for 3 months you do this, and then you go to Prabhupada Ashraya, then you go to Sadhaka, then you go to then you increase 4 rounds, then you increase 8 rounds. At this time now you have quit onion garlic. At this time you have quit, started following the principle. So they have more made like a slow process with like a pretty so that is a kind of system. But I think we don't have to make ourselves as being neophytes. We can just copy
you basically arrange it and you do it. It's not complicated, and you seem to have got a very good mind for these organization. So if you see how it can be organized, mainly how will people sustain themselves? Do they have jobs? Do they brahmacharis? Are they living in the temple? These are all possibilities, you see. But that you can plan because you know the people.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
So Ramachandra also, why not comment also, because these are very intelligent questions.
Ramachandra stepped away for a few minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
One thing I was so I see a system, an institution like ISKCON Bangalore or any other institution, ISKM or any one institution who are like doing the same thing. and then if the system makes sense, and it's completely dependent on Prabhupada, I take the system, I like bring that system into me. Of course, I contact with somebody from their institute and pay my
Yes.
guidance needed in future. Maybe you guys can guide. I think if they are following Prabhupada, they will be very happy to guide. I believe so. So far, that's what I've seen.
Yes. In the very early days of the movement, we would get a temple and we'd have a dozen people living in it. Yeah, but this is back when there were plenty of stray people floating around. But we would have the people living in it. They could be students. They could be just people. And then when we began to expand more, we would think, well, let's open a second temple. Let's open a third temple, like that. And it was not difficult to do. In those days, there was a book written by Hayagriva Prabhu called the Hare Krishna Explosion.
Sure, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hare Krishna Explosion, you can read it if you like. But the Hare Krishna Explosion. Huh?
Sure. I'm planning to read. Yeah, I'm planning to read. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hare Krishna Explosion meant that as people became excited for it, they would go on chanting on the streets in Sankirtan. They'd have people invited in. Then the way Prabhupada started out, he would have, this is the way it was back in 1966, 65 and 66. So nowadays maybe much more sophisticated and more speedy. But the fact is that he would have people coming by just to sit with him and talk. And he would, on Wednesday, so he would distribute fruits or dried fruits or fruits and stuff like that, maybe some milk, and he would distribute. Then on Sunday, the people that got interested in taking up Krishna consciousness, they would learn to cook from Prabhupada, and then they would provide a feast on Sunday. And that feast would then be something that was quite attractive to the population. And once that was established, you could open another temple, and another temple. That is back then. And that's why I'd like to get Ramachandra back into the conversation.
Sure.
Because nowadays, what you have in mind, I think, is extremely good, more sophisticated. So there's no real rule for doing it. We did it that way because it fit the demographic of the people.
Yeah, and
I've been working on it worked beautifully.
Yeah, I've been working on the sustainability part. So I think there are so many ways, especially nowadays with the help of internet. So my personal way of sustaining is to do some online preaching. So just get people who are interested in, of course, give knowledge to everybody, but to live together is the people who are interested in spreading the knowledge of Prabhupada's book and on internet. There are ways that you can just from ad revenue, from different things, you can make some money. You can just sustain. But the other centers, there can be multiple ways. Like some center can have open shops, either local shops or online shop. They can sell books, and there are so many things to sell.
Nowadays, it's possible to do so many wonderful things. Yes, I agree. And you try to create a coordination between the different leaders of the temples, whether they're temple presidents or that they are working under your direction. However they are, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that it continues and that the people can take part. And the main thing is to chant kirtan, meaning Prabhupada style kirtan. You can get it from recordings. That when people chant like Prabhupada, that is from Krishna Loka. And then the next thing is that taking prasadam, and with the kirtan and the prasadam, you will have a perfection of life very quickly forming. Then, of course, there's the question in the evening to have classes from reading from Prabhupada's original books, Bhagavad Gita, say, and in the morning in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's all possible to do that. And it really depends on how people are staying, whether they're living in that space or whether they're visiting that space. But you are very intelligent, so you can know exactly what to do.
Yeah, both the ways are possible, and then that's what I've observed. So I've seen a
Yeah, you
center
can make
where
it very flexible, and following the Bangalore model is very good also.
sure,
But
sure.
basically, nowadays people are much more flexible and much more have many more options than they used to have. I mean, what I'm talking about people didn't even have radios, really. Yeah, they had radios, but I mean, they didn't have tape recorders or anything like that. It was all very crude. And nowadays, everyone has a cell phone. You can carry. But the main thing is, it is important that people learn to chant Prabhupada's melodies as he chanted them. That is super, super important, because what happened is that after 1970, people began to start going crazy with kirtans. They all wanted to do their own thing, and it turned out very badly. It turned out very, very badly for everybody. So I strongly recommend that you learn to chant, dance the way Prabhupada did. You can see how he danced the so-called Swami step. That is very good for the heart. And the kartals must be played very nicely. And the mridanga is called aditala. Rupa, is there any way to get Ramachandra back in?
No.
Yeah, I think we can wait. So in that regards, like I wanted to ask, so either this process, let's say we have made a process of like somebody joining in, and in 3 years of practicing, they can get maybe initiation. I think ISKCON Bangalore, they've got like at least 2-3 years of basic practice, and then
you don't even need that much time.
Sure.
In the old days, people would come, and then after 6 months they would take initiation.
Sure.
How should how ready they are. Go ahead.
Sure. How like the main confusion is how the initiation process, like who would chant on a bead and who would give the name, and how will I select the name? Like I haven't, they will also have a system, but I haven't asked them these questions. Yeah.
So this is called, Prabhupada gave the title officiating acharya. Officiating acharya means you're acting in behalf of Prabhupada. So you need someone who is initiated twice, first initiation and then Brahman initiation. And that shouldn't be hard to get. You can borrow one from somewhere, and they can perform the fire sacrifice.
Sure.
Because at some point, if you have a temple, you're going to have people wanting to get married. You're going to have people at some point. You're going to want to have they're going to get married. Some people will die. You have to give the Shraddha ceremony, and some people are going to have babies, and at 4 months old, they pick between coins and books. So these are all done by Dvija, by persons who are twice born.
Yeah, I've seen like how a system like this is running, and then they have got kids, so Matajis, they have got job to educate them, give basic education, and then some people have different duties, temple duties, kitchen duty, and like it's all running very nicely. One thing I saw different there is in one place is like they've got a leader, in a sense that the leader is considered as a shiksha guru. So they like all of people get one guidance from one, like the final authority in that institution, in specific institution.
But we don't take the shiksha guru to be very much like an initiating guru.
Sure.
The so-called shiksha guru it really just means a Brahmin.
Mm.
He's a Brahmin and he's qualified to perform wedding ceremony. He can perform the initiation. He can perform the Shraddha ceremony, the Anaprasana ceremony. And because he can do all of those things, he doesn't even have to be called a Shiksha Guru. Prabhupada called officiating Acharya. Officiating Acharya means he is acting in behalf of Prabhupada to initiate and to perform all functions. And when these functions are performed, everyone will be satisfied.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm reluctant to use. Like, just take the good word out of dictionary and just use that for only Prabhupada, and then everybody else is like god brother, god sister kind of a relation and guiding one another, and like just general Vaishnavas do. They just guide one another. So yeah. So
Rupa Manjari, excuse me 1 second. Rupa Manjari,
Yes.
could you call Ramachandra? He should be here on this conversation. I think he's taking prasadam.
The thing is that I'm the host for this meeting, so if I make a call, I need to leave.
I didn't realize. I thought he was.
No, he made me the host.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think that is pretty clear that survival, and it can be run like that. So you're saying that the main confusion I had is that who would chant on the beat and who would select the name, and then again you said that you can just hire somebody who can perform a fire sacrifice, and then and would the same person would be chanting on the beads and selecting a name as well, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's no harm in it. The fact is that when Prabhupada gave direct initiations, he picked the name, he chanted on the beads like that. But later on, he developed a system called officiating acharyas, and these officiating acharyas would chant on the beads, and he would usually pick the name, and the officiating acharya would award the name. But later on, then the officiating acharya also picked the name. The thing to remember is that the name, all of these things are formalities.
Mm.
And we don't have to consider that they are our ticket to Krishna Loka or anything like that. It is.
That's my mother. She just
Who do you have here?
That's my mother. Just want to know, what's happening. But yeah, maybe she won't understand.
I'm sorry. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah,
Mataji,
her name is. Yeah, her name is Krishna as well.
Krishna. And so wonderful to meet you. Hare Krishna. Is she related to you? Is she your relative?
Yeah, she's my mother. She is my mother.
Oh, your mother. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You have got wonderful Paka-san. Wonderful son. And you are Paka Mataji.
Karachi Mataji. So nice. Yeah, she might not understand language, but yeah. So yeah, I forgot. So for the name and initiation, you were saying that that these are not like very major thing. Like I shouldn't be, because this is what I've been contemplating on like for so long. Like how would this thing work? But even though in my heart I knew I've read like basic. The guru is like is Divya Gyan, who gives you divine knowledge. So that's the main.
In all cases, Prabhupada is the guru.
Mm-hmm.
He is pure devotee. He comes from Krishna Loka. How lucky can we be to have a spiritual master who is from Krishna Loka? Yeah. All of these people that want gurus, etc., they are all just like priests. But we're not interested in priests whatsoever. We're only interested in pure devotees from Krishna Loka. That's Prabhupada. So these priests, the priest is the officiating acharya. He is acting in behalf of Srila Prabhupada, but he connects you with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that ISKCON is his body. So when you become initiated by Prabhupada, your body, the body of Prabhupada, that's that is the body of Prabhupada is ISKCON. So you're creating ISKCON. You're creating an ISKCON. That's good. And that will be Prabhupada's body. That means that the officiating Acharya can perform the fire sacrifice, etc.
Exactly. Yeah, not that souls. Yeah, that souls.
Rupa Manjari, Prabhu. Is Ramachandra coming back?
He said he was stepping away for a few minutes. That's all he said. And then he made me the host.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, he's having dinner, I think.
That's all right. So I think, yeah, that was the main concern about, how would this process of initiation would work. But, so yeah. All I know that I can gather like people, who are interested, and like, some of them would live under one shelter. Some of them would be like, living outside, but be very strongly connected to the system.
Exactly.
And then
and then they could all come together into one place for kirtan.
Yeah.
And then we go outside in the streets, Sankirtan, chanting in the streets. It's very, very nice. And the people will be very impressed and very amazed to hear that chanting going on out in the streets.
Sure. Yeah. And in this way, like, like we would train, like first, the institution once is up and running, like people would come from all over the world, they get trained, like, and they can just go home and open a center, and whatever guidance they will need, by that time, hopefully 2-3 years will be passed, and then we would have enough knowledge that what kind of challenges and everything comes in, and then we will just guide them, and they can just do their own thing, and they can all have their mood. Of course, the main mood is to serve Prabhupada, but as we are hoping to just go like content wise, like just spread knowledge as much as we can, just spread knowledge on internet, that they can have like maybe some practicing devotee and just doing the local preaching only, so they can just all have their separate speciality, like how they
exactly exactly. But it's very important to keep something centralized so that people can come and visit.
Sure.
So people, maybe you say Monday, Wednesday and Sunday, you can have program, or everyday program, whatever works for your group of people.
Yeah. Once they have a lot of centers, like then somebody, if let's say if we're preaching on internet, somebody comes in and they are in location which is outside this country, but it is near to one center, then we can recommend, okay, you can just go and visit that center, and maybe get association there, because the whole system is just based on one main principle, that Prabhupada is the Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and he is the main shelter. He is the and then it can run. Yeah, I think just
So Shiksha Guru actually means who is giving instructions, and Diksha Guru is giving initiation.
Sure.
So Shiksha, but Prabhupada says, and it is written in the Shastra, that the Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, both must be residents of Krishna Loka.
Sure.
So when we say that Prabhupada is Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, that's fine, because he is a resident of Krishna Loka at all times.
Okay, Ronald is back.
Oh, Ronald Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Ronald Ramachandra.
I'm back, Prabhu. Yes. You made that point about the Shiksha and the Diksha Guru being Uttama Adhikaris.
I want you to continue that. This gentleman here is completely intelligent.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's here.
Oh, absolutely. Were you able to, over your dinner, were you able to listen to his talking?
No, I was going in and out. So I was, but I've been hearing for the last minute. So I'd like to share some quotes regarding what we have discussed previously. Hold on.
Because he has many very beautiful ideas. Many of them are based on Bangalore. How to come in a soft way, in a hard way, in a tight way, in a loose way, in all of these things. it sounds so much better than when we had temples in the beginning, even when Prabhupada was there, because it was all so beginning. But the way he's making it sound, first of all, there's so much facility. We can have Prabhupada kirtans without difficulty. They can be brought in on your cell phone,
Yeah. Okay, here we go. What's the quote? So I like to share. So this is the quotes Rupa Manjari Prabhu shared, or Narayana Prabhu shared, and I just took it out from the Nectar of Devotion. He comes out as a spiritual master, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. So there is no difference between Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru and Krishna. Krishna manifests himself eternally as Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. Prabhupada, Guru Krishna Kripai Bhakti Lata Bij. We have to acquire this energy through the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So Krishna is within as Chaita Guru, and when he is serious, and when we are serious. And here Prabhupada is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 12, verse 32, according to Shastric injunctions, there is no difference between Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, and generally the Shiksha Guru later on becomes the Diksha Guru. So, this is very clear, right?
Yes, and very much different than the ISKCON model, where Shiksha Gurus are some ordinary guy that was initiated a year ago or something of that sort.
Yeah. So
that person has to be on the same platform as the pure devotee.
Sure.
So any questions, Prabhu? We're just sharing these quotes. So here, Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 8, verse 128. The spiritual master who first gives information about spiritual life is called Varta Shiksha Guru. Factually, the qualifications of a spiritual master depend on his knowledge of the science of Krishna. He can become a spiritual master, Vatma Pradakshya Guru, Diksha Guru, or Pradakshika Guru. The spiritual master who initiates according to the regulations of the Shastras is called Diksha Guru.
Ramachandra, two verses up. Did you read that one yet?
2 verses up. Oh, no, I forgot that one. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam 4, 12, 32. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think I forgot that. According to Shastra, there is no difference between Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. And generally, the Shiksha Guru later on becomes the Diksha Guru. So, if someone is trying to cheat you, they'll say, I'm a Shiksha Guru. And later on, they say, I'm a Diksha Guru. So, this doesn't make any sense, If Prabhupada is giving the spiritual knowledge, then who's the Guru? It's coming from Prabhupada's books, right? Whoever is reading Prabhupada's books is just repeating what Prabhupada is saying or reading to you.
And not just only his books, also from his tape recording.
Tape recordings, yeah.
Lectures, yeah.
Letters, lectures. So who's the Shiksha Guru? Is it him or Prabhupada?
Yeah, exactly. Prabhupada. Yeah. No, it's full of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very simple, people in the present day so-called ISKCON, they have complicated things very much to people cannot understand what's going on.
You can say they've complicated things, but actually what they have done is they've diverted Krishna consciousness as a spiritual movement into being a religious organization.
Yeah.
Religious organization has nothing to do with spiritual life. If you look at all the religions on earth, like Catholic Church, for instance, the Catholic Church isn't giving you Jesus. The Catholic Church is giving you all sorts of doctrines.
Yeah.
Okay. So the same thing here. Krishna consciousness must be pure Krishna consciousness. So it cannot be turned. So that what is happening in ISKCON and what is happening around the movement, the GDC, they are becoming simply religionists. religiosity, and that means modern Hinduism basically has nothing to do with Prabhupada, nothing to do with Krishna, nothing to do with Krishna Loka, nothing to do with surrendering to Krishna. It has only to do with practicing and making money and giving money to the priests.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And giving money to the priests is not necessarily such a wonderful thing to do. If the priest, you don't give money to the priest, what happens is if you give money to the donation to the organization, the priest can use it to cook food, prasadam, and distribute it.
Yeah.
He can use it to buy books and sell them to the members who come, and so that people have books to read and study them. That's the actual practice. But to turn it into a religion, that is the worst fate possible for Krishna consciousness.
There is no concept of divya gyan, like divine knowledge. So that is what is missing. Like no divine knowledge, so no transferring or giving or providing divine knowledge. So that's what I think. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. The divine knowledge factor must be there for it to be something other than religion. But divine knowledge, religion, it's just practice, practice, practice. Give money, give money, give money. Get married, come to the temple to do, ritual. Very much like Hindu. Many Hindu. Some Hindus are better than others, but all in all, the Hindu concept is just religion. It was given up by, the Hindu used to belong to the Vedic culture back in the time of King Yudhisthira, back in the 5,000 years ago. But what happened is that when the Mughals came and destroyed the kings, because they were noble kings, they obeyed the conqueror. So when you obey the conqueror, then the religion goes out the window, and the religion that went out the window was the Sanatana Dharma, which was the Hindu, became known as Hindu, or rather the Muslims called it Hindu. They created the word Hindu, meaning other side of the river, Indus. So I don't want to get too carried away with that notion, but Hindu lost its connection to the Vedic culture and lost its connection to developing all of the good qualities for going back to Godhead.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Now, Prabhupada came. Yes, I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're right. And then the same point, as you said, before Hindus were actually following the Vedic civilization. And then, exactly. And then, in the beginning, when I got the Prabhupada's book, so then in the instant, when he said that if you are born in the land of Bharata, then your main purpose should be to just get this knowledge, and like bliss your life, and then like spread the knowledge and do paropkar, so that then do help other as well to gain the divine knowledge. So that time, I thought, it should be the best aim to dedicate your life, but I was just confused because very doubtful, skeptical, and reluctant. So I knew that there is Krishna. Of course, we've got Vrindavan, we've got the Govardhan that he lifted, we've got so many temples and everything. But I was very confused, like if he is the cause of all causes. So at least 1.5 years in the beginning, I just completely gave to understand, just find out this question, if he is the cause of all causes or not. So every single philosophy that's there been on earth, I researched. Like I researched Christianity, Islam, I researched Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism. I research on all the older civilization in Ireland before, Celtic civilization, Egyptian civilization. So I after so much of research, I actually find out that all the dots connected, and it is how is Krishna is the cause of all causes. So it took me a lot of time, a lot of research, but so before pre-Abrahimism, if you see all the civilization, they were actually following a Vedic way. even in Egyptian, they were following, but they were just not doing, just like in India, they were not doing following the proper Vaishnavism, like the purest form of Sanatan Dharma, which is Vaishnavism, but they were following like on the some worshipping Shiva like that, some worshipping only devatas to get good karmas and just to transfer to better planets. So just worshipping the sun god and stuff like that. So but they all were failing, they were all following the basic principle were intact, like the law of karma, the law of reincarnation, the law of these kind of things. But now after Abrahimism, I think what happened is, let's say Islam and Christianity, they took the part like this, let's say the Gita, they talk about Kal, Karma, Prakriti, Ishwar, like all these topics, and then they took one topic which is Ishvara and then focus on completely that Ishvara, but they took it like 0.001% of what exactly is Ishvara. Like it can be only one name, it can be only like the formless one, and it can be only like they just made just limit the infinite in that way. But they, just because they don't talk about the law of karma, so there is no reincarnation, so it stays incomplete. So that is what has happened. But if you go like before in Krishna's time, before that, yeah, all of them were following Vedic way.
Just 100%. I 100% like what you're saying. 100%. Sure. So now you can see, but Prabhupada came here from Krishna Loka. I mean, he wasn't just born in Bengal. He came from Krishna Loka, from Krishna, in order to create this movement that will last for 10,000 years. That is till the end of the golden age of Kali. And it's complicated. There's many parts to it. But the actual fact is that Krishna consciousness movement, as you understand it to be, is the perfection that your study led you to understand. So thank you very much, Prabhu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the videos in the beginning, your videos like really help of understanding this concept of what is happening wrong with Prabhupada's movement, what has gone wrong with the Guru system and everything. And I think these videos, like people like me, I was just searching and came to you guys, and I think these videos from 100 years from now will be very valuable, because a lot of people is still impacting a lot of lives, but later on people will be searching. So then I think
you mean that we are producing here?
Yeah, the content you're producing now, I think from 100 years from now, like later on, it will be
wonderful.
Like, yeah, pretty helpful. Yeah, for people.
Thank you. That is very, very encouraging. Ramachandra, did you hear that?
I had to step away again.
Is Ramachandra here still?
He had to step away again.
Really?
No, that's really good. So yeah, I think my doubts on like how the initiation would work is pretty much clear now. So that was the main concern: who would chant on the beat and who would perform the sacrifice, and you can just hire a priest, and who would select a name, how it will be selected a name, and you can add it to a book. So
you are welcome to constantly come to our site, to come onto the Zoom call, to call Ramachandra, to call me, and we will deal with everything.
Sure. Very well.
And we'll help you get yourself established. I could say I like your ideas. I love your ideas. Your ideas are perfect, and we need them. And that will become the basis for a whole movement for all over the world.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
Janas Priya Prabhu has joined us.
Jai.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, that's what I think Prabhupada wanted as well. So, when they try to centralize the whole, ISKCON, like, now again it's centralized, but, in the beginning, when they tried to centralize, he was very against, because he said that it should be like, localized, like in different temples, they have quoting, the different authorities and stuff like that. So in this way, if you bring this system, then people will be decentralized as well. So even if one get corrupt, one institution get like completely corrupt, like then there are so many to other that who are doing it in
But
genuine
if
way.
we support one another, because in the early days of the movement, in the first 2 or 3 years of the movement, there was nothing corrupt. Everybody was in complete harmony. It was very wonderful. And we all very much relished, and we were always thinking of Prabhupada, always waiting for Prabhupada to show up at the temple, etc. like that. It was very, very, very extraordinarily nice. Everybody was very Krishna conscious and they had everything very beautifully in their mind and practice.
Exactly. It
So,
seems like I'm talking too much, but yeah.
Rupa,
Yes.
can you sort of encourage Ramachandra not to go away?
Well, he just kind of leaves with just a comment that he's going, so I don't really have a chance to ask him not to leave.
Well, when he gets back, tell him not to leave.
Okay.
Because this is a very special moment here, and we need to share it very nicely.
Okay.
It was nice to hear about you researching all these different religions and then coming to the conclusion of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
I felt similar, but yeah, and then coming to Krishna consciousness, but then seeing how ISKCON has become turned me away 2 times before I came back and really looked deeply into it.
Yeah, well, they have become, it's a complicated topic, but they have gone very far away from the original purpose of Krishna consciousness. And we're going to try to sort that out and make it work.
Exactly. Usually everything gets corrupted in the material world, but it takes let's say from the millions of years ago when this whole started, it took so many multi-million years to get all the species or like the environment, humans that level that but in Prabhupada's movement, it's not even one generation. They just instantly they got corrupt even before he left the planet. So it must have been the impact of Kali Yuga or the environment or there must be different factor contributing to it, but usually things definitely get deteriorated, but it takes a lot of time. So with this movement, it happened early, but maybe Krishna working mysterious ways. That's why
well, yes, because Lord Chaitanya came here as Radha and Krishna. This is more complicated, but Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago, and he gave us the Hare Krishna mantra to chant. And because he gave us the Hare Krishna mantra to chant, we are able to reach perfection almost instantly. In other words, anyone who hears the holy name of Krishna, hears, what to speak of chants, the holy name of Krishna once, he will go back to Godhead. But the question is, it's like he has his airplane ticket in his pocket, but he isn't on the airplane yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because being on the airplane means we're free from material desire. We're free from material bondage, free from our material mentality. So when we are able to become free from the material mentality, then we're able to go forward and as you can see, make more and more advancement as moments go by.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and yes, just like Jagannath Prabhu was saying. So so in my research, I find out some philosophies they just talk till dukh nivritti, just the avoidance of pain. If we just get lean into Brahman, they just get the mukti moksha from the cycle of birth and death. They are fine, but for us, for us bhaktas, it is like a spiritual suicide. We want to be engaged with Lord, seeing Lord face to face and enjoying rasas, with the Lord. So our, it is not just avoidance of pain, but is getting the unlimited bliss as well. Getting the bliss while serving, giving, trying to give the bliss to the Lord. And it is always a competition in spiritual world. We are trying to serve the Lord, like make Lord blissful, and then He is doing the same to us, and like and everybody is doing the same to one another, in a serving mood, like giving bliss to one another. That's how the whole principle of love, like ever increasing love, not getting deteriorated, not getting that's how. Yeah. So we are just so we're so like lucky to, because now I was just, even some of the philosophy on Sanatan Dharma, it is not complete at all. It is but still they are giving some clues, like in Advaita they say that there is living entities like wall to wall in the material world. So if you just go on balcony, I go and just see the sky, like there is always small particles moving one another that you can see. And now later you realize, like, these are all living entities, souls that were not yet in the body. So out of like so many souls, we got like body, and not just in any animal body or any 8.4 million. We got the human birth, and then that too in the after just Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just passed, like just he just left his Leela like 600 years ago or so, and then we get in touch with Prabhupada, and then on top of that somehow believing it, and thinking of following it, and then so there's just so much of kripa, like so much of mercy, just combining together, how we able to discuss these topics and stuff like that.
Hi.
Well,
Well
there's
said.
8,400,000 species. Of 8,400,000 species, 8 million are animals and bugs and whatnot, insects, and the 400,000 are different types of human. And that includes demigods, that includes very primitive humans. So 400,000, and they are on the heavenly planets like Swargaloka and Indraloka, and then coming down to earthly level, like our own level here, and then going down into lower levels, miserable levels, and even hellish levels. Yeah. So these 400,000 species are moving all around and are trying to do their best. So in this day and age, just chanting Hare Krishna is the only option that they will have for making spiritual advancement. That is all that is possible. Okay. Rupa, is Ramachandra's not back yet?
No.
Yeah, I know when I first came to this, looking for the right spiritual path, I was trying to learn all these advanced mantras, very long mantras. And I remember one time I was on the, I found some devotees were chanting. I went over to them, and they're like, she like read my mind. She talked about Gayatri mantra and all these other ones, and how we're not at that level to chant them, and you can just chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and that's the highest thing and appropriate for everybody.
That's excellent.
Exactly.
And two, I remember Narayan Prabhu talking about these like GBC people and other people taking on the karma of their devotees. Every single guru I was reading and following before I came to Krishna consciousness, you could see how they just fell. They might have started out having some kind of small power at the beginning, but they all fall by the end of their lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest contributing factor is that Guru Avagya, because as I was saying before, like it takes multi-million years for human species or like that and universe to get deteriorated in this level, like which we are now, and then everything deteriorated but slowly. But with this stone, it's just very instant, the first generation, because it is based on Guru Avagya, because they didn't follow the order properly. It just shows exactly because they didn't follow the order properly, that's why it's just completely like shattered like to pieces, like it's so quickly. So
wow.
That is,
yes, Jai, that is amazing. Well, I think you're on the right track, Prabhu. You have everything established, you understand it clearly. It's just a question of acting and staying in touch with our group here too, as you may have questions or anything like that. And as you want to get established, we'll help you every way we can. And that will be a very nice experience for everyone, including particularly ourselves, I believe.
there you go. Blessings. Yeah, so much more.
Right.
That's so kind. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Such a wonderful experience.
No,
It's
this, yeah.
such a wonderful thing to meet your Mataji also.
Yeah, she don't understand the language, but yeah, it was very nice that she could see, because she was wondering what I'm doing, who I'm talking to, and everything. She doesn't know this, but
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So yeah,
So
that was
it must be interesting for her to see that here we are Americans in India coming through your recording
yeah,
device.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. I've been talking too much, and yeah, sometimes it's just like
No,
the
you're
internet
doing
connection here.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Everything is perfect. Don't worry. You've understood. I just wish Ramachandra were here too because he has so much to contribute. But he will be back. You hear him every once in a while, right on the program.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so and then so there are so many questions, like in the along the way it got answered, like some people would say, like how the Prabhupada system would work, why don't people take initiation directly from Bhakti Siddhanta, or previous Acharya, or directly from Krishna, and this and that. But how
Yeah.
like I found out it must be the current link is Prabhupada, current Acharya link. Like, you
Yeah.
cannot jump. Like, if you go to Bhakti Siddhanta just one generation back, then he was chanting 64 round. Like, are you able to do that every day? So it was the mercy of, like, the rules that set by Prabhupada that made it easy. So
Yeah.
it
No,
always
we don't jump. In this particular case, we have Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Gorkashodas Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta, and Prabhupada. This is a very short sampradaya, a very short line of a subject succession, because it's coming from Lord Chaitanya. Now, if you're going to go and read in the Bhagavad Gita, in the front of the Gita, all the acharyas are, well, they go back to Balaram, they go back to Madhava.
Looks like Nara Narayan Prabhu cut out.
Mm.
Oh, I
Hello?
see you. You cut out for a little bit, Prabhu.
Oh,
We can hear you now.
I'm sorry.
You were
Yes,
talking about sorry, what's the word?
Disciple
Disciple
succession.
Yes.
So yes. I'm sorry, I got lost track.
You're saying how it is like a short sampradaya when you cut off, like it started from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and
Oh yes, yes. So from Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago,
We're back, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Put it out, or
oh yeah, what happened? Rupa, are you there?
Yeah,
What happened?
I don't know.
Never seen that
you-
before.
you're saying, Prabhu. So it started with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and 2 or 3 times it got, like, disconnected.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, from Lord Chaitanya, it comes down with very few acharyas until it gets to a confusing period where the people became very much disturbed after Lord Chaitanya, and then Thakur Bhakti Vinod sorted it out, and then Gorkashore Das Babaji created the contrarian notion of life, which means that he did everything backwards. And you might say, well, what's the use of doing everything backwards? And that is, he came to Bhakti Siddhanta after that, Bhaktisiddhanta did all sorts of things backwards, but the main thing was coming to Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada did so many things backwards, that means that he was initiating people he was giving Brahmin initiation to women. He was taking people off the streets and making them into Brahmins and making them into sannyasis. This is completely not allowed. So he did all of those things. Prabhupada did those things. He did that very beautifully, very gently, and very nicely. But the actual fact is that it was contrarian, and that came from Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji. Because Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji contrarian means he would chant japa in the latrines. Now, he was a great pure devotee of the greatest, a Paramahansa of the highest order, but he was so committed to his spiritual life that people wanted to take initiation from him, and he didn't want to give them initiation. So he would go into the latrines to chant japa, and nobody that wanted to take initiation would dare go there and ask for initiation. That's what I mean by contrarian. He went completely against all the rules. And because of that, it was possible for Prabhupada to go against all the rules and create Americans into devotees. Now we consider it's perfectly normal, but back then it was unheard of. Back at the time of Bhaktisiddhanta or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, 200 years ago, if anyone had thought that you could come to America and preach, it's forbidden. The Vaishnava cannot cross the ocean. And you cannot initiate women to become Brahmins. All of these things Prabhupada did, and it was completely out of the question. But that was because of Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji. He was a contrarian. So Prabhupada became also contrarian after Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Exactly. Yeah, and because they are acharya, they can do such things, like, because they are directly from spiritual world, they are able to. They've got the authority to do
Yes,
this kind of thing.
that's possible. Yes.
Yeah, but we cannot do, like, okay, now women can initiate, or like, or whatever is not
No.
Yeah. Exactly.
But if you and I, if we go to Africa, we can initiate Africans. But who will ever initiate Africans if they're from India? You see what I mean? It's just out of the question. But Prabhupada would do that. He did initiate so many Africans.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rupa, can you continue the conversation? I'm going to try to call Ramachandra. Okay? I'll be back with you in a second.
We could keep looking at the document that we were first looking at.
Yes.
I have the.
So how did you, Prabhu? Sorry.
What was that?
Yeah, I was just asking, like, how did you guys, like, came to Krishna consciousness? Like, if you tell, like, a brief, that'll be really good to hear. If only if you want to, if it's okay to share. Or...
I'd like to hear Rupa Manjari's Prabhu's story, if possible.
Sure. I was going to college at a local community college here in Los Angeles. And I had a class with a girl who was a devotee. And I invited her to live with me. And for 7 months, she preached to me and made me a devotee of Krishna.
Very nice. Jai.
How about yourself?
Hello.
Oh, yes, Narayan?
Are we on the Zoom call?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was trying to reach Ramachandra, but I was not able to do it.
So,
For me,
so you, yeah,
what was your question?
yeah, no, exactly the same. So in so you met a devotee, and then she like introduced you to like Prabhupada's book. Like I just missed the last part, and after that, like
Yeah,
yeah,
she taught me about Krishna consciousness, and she convinced me that Krishna consciousness was the supreme absolute truth.
sure, exactly, yeah, and it's almost like this is a way to say it's almost like always like a devotee, like there is a saying, "Bhaktan ki sangati vina ranch no bujhe prem," that without the association of a devotee you cannot get like this nectar. That's how Krishna has made. But yeah, all of us I think usually is either through a devotee and through a very pure devotee like Prabhupada's books somehow, and you Jagannath Prabhuji's.
Yeah, I mean, there was a long process, but I mean, one of the main defining moments was I was reading a lot of different books, and I mean, I had a small book, Prabhupada's, but I didn't know if I believed in it or liked it. But I was at the park and I heard some devotees chanting, and I felt mesmerized and I got attracted to it, and I came over to them, and yeah, this woman talked about the Gayatri mantra and talked about the Hare Krishna mantra and gave me these books, and I felt overcome with very strong emotions, and that kind of started my process. But it was still really long after that.
Yeah, it takes, yeah. I think the slow one is like pretty strong, because sometimes people just come and just go and on the roof, and like yeah, if you make slow progress, I think it's always the you know pretty strong one. Yeah. No, that's really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Haribo.
Joy.
And what about the this is name I see, Janas Priha Das.
I'm sorry?
Sure.
Yeah, there is a name that I see on the Zoom, Janas Priya Das.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yeah, you're just discussing how we came to contact with Krishna, or with Prabhupada and stuff like that. If you would just like to say like how what
I
happened.
used to be a real bona fide hippie, like the real thing, like full on. And I used to sell a hippie newspaper in the best corner in Vancouver, British Columbia. And there was a devotee there. He was distributing books, and he had a little basket with bread cut up, and he had toothpicks, each little square, so you could take a little piece of bread. And he used to preach to me every day. And, I was a Mayavadi more or less. And I look at him in the eye one day and I said, "Look, brother, were you trying to go? I'm already there, man." I think he didn't know. He didn't know what to say, After that, he never talked to me. But I just tell my friends, if I ever become serious about spiritual life, I think the Hare Krishnas are the closest real, like, it's not just a go to on Sunday church thing, but it's a lifestyle, and that's what I want. So, actually, I went to throw my trash away, and I found a pile of books, and the top book was Autobiography of a Yogi. And I read it, and I just thought, oh, wow, this is it. So I went to the center in San Diego, California, and I said, I want to join, I want to do this. And they go, whoa, slow down, cowboy. They say, you got to take this course, and you got to come around for a year, and then blah, blah, blah. So then I went to the Hare Krishna temple, and I said, I want to join. And they go, welcome home.
Very nice. Don't have to buy all the courses.
Yeah. And
It
the
has-
first kirtan that I went to, I saw the devotees jumping up and down, and they were sweating and, closing their eyes, and they were just, it was a small little temple, and it was simple kirtan. And when I saw that, I thought, I don't know what they're feeling, but whatever they're feeling, I want that. I need to have that.
Nice.
Nice.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Yeah, yeah. When you read like autobiography of a yogi, there's one chapter where he says that the guru came to meet and just told about how the nirvikalpa samadhi, like how his samadhi work, like the samadhi of the Brahma Jyoti or whatnot. So and then you feel like so much like powerful, unique, like it's almost like you become a god, like you can make alternate worlds and stuff like that. And then like we read about a devotee, like he was in that kind of level, that samadhi, but as soon as he saw a glimpse, like just a little bit of light of coming from the lotus feet of lords, what do you call toenails, like and it was like multi-billion billion trillions of time beautiful and more powerful than his samadhi, which is the merging in the Brahman. So it is definitely we're on the right path. We are aiming for the highest thing. It's just like when we reach like it's just doing the Artha part, and and just finding we at least found a legitimate, like a spiritual world Uttamadhikari guru. So that is, I think, so I think
Well said. I want to correct one thing I said before. I said all gurus. I studied I've fallen, but for example, this Yogananda, he didn't fall, but he only had very few disciples, versus Prabhupada, thousands.
Sure. Yeah. And I think they like their guru, like it's they've just limited themselves to Brahmjyoti. They have not seen like the the next part. They're just not describing the next part, like so that's what because their worship to the form of Krishna is also to just get to the Brahmjyoti part. So but we want to transcendent, like we definitely don't want to go to the Brahmjyoti part. So we want to transcend that and go to the boards abode. So even they say, like there's so many people following this path where they just want to become one with God. So and I think in Kali Yuga that's the main people's desire to become like God, God-like. So
Big ego.
yeah. So even that I've read that if you offend bhakti even the slightest bit, like bhakti bhagwan or bhakt, like devotee, the Lord, and the devotion, just a little bit, you cannot even attain that. So just imagine people spending like and usually the path to that is so tough, like the sacrifices made there, the rules and regulation, and the the, oh my god, it's so hard, like and you can just imagine like it takes so many millions of lifetime to perfect to the stage, and somebody now he's a Jivan Mukta, he has attained that perfection, and he's just maybe the last body, and he drops and definitely emerge into Brahman. But even if he offend the bhakti even like the slightest bit, he get not to attain that, he just have to start the journey all over again. So and now it is so hard nowadays not to like be on that stage and not to offend, because you don't have knowledge of that, you just end up offending either the devotee or the devotion or the Lord. So and then you just come back to so that is one interesting thing.
Very nice. You talking about that Yogananda story reminded me of me. I was a very hardcore Buddhist before, and I used to be able to get into that void. And one time I was in the void. It was right before my wedding in India, before I was going, and I was in the void, and then I felt this extremely powerful being millions of miles away turn its gaze towards me, and then all of a sudden I was just like, I felt like that craziness, that extremely high energy, and I knew there was a God. And then I read the Ramanuja Bhagavad Gita, and it totally convinced me that there was this God that's not, you cannot merge with. That's always maybe qualitatively you can merge with, not really, but not quantitatively. And that's kind of what started me on my journey and how I found Prabhupada.
Wow, that's wow. Yeah, it's so these are the so let's say in the Buddhist philosophy, before that, that was the closest, before researching even all that was the closest thing I could make sense, because it gives the responsibility of like some of the, like in Islam or in Christianity, you can just have faith in Jesus, no need to do anything, and you can be just like get salvation. But in Buddhism, there was eightfold path, or the Four Noble Truth, and you have to follow like a process and stuff like that. So it was making actually sense. But later on, when I actually studied, it's just like again, just the liberation from cycle of birth and death. But there is no joy, there is no nothing. It's that is why if you see countries who are following Buddhism, just let's say Thailand, like people. I spoke with a Thailand person in Thailand, so I just said that because they eat all kind of, just like in China, all kind of stuff. Like inside, I said that there is, you're eating pig, there might be a possibility you becoming a pig as well, getting eaten and stuff like that. So they say that right now it is fun. That time it will also be fun, because there is no joy in like the goal, ultimate goal. You just become numb. You just become like go in a deep sleep and just not wake up, no senses, no interaction with the Lord or the other devotees or anything, other souls, other jivas. So they become like completely numb. So that is why
Escaping
the goal
pain.
itself is so, there is no rasa in the goal. So they just don't want to even like walk through the path. You see, they just want to just like just keep doing, like okay, we are happy to stay in the material world, change bodies and do all sort of crazy stuff, and because we are fine, because we don't want to go there where there is nothing to do basically. So at least we have got a body and do something. So that's why these philosophies, even though it's Lord's plan at certain time, he like give ways to people to do these philosophies so that something else can be achieved. Like with Buddha's avatar, there was a lot of Vedic sacrifice. People didn't understand the Vedas and they were doing all sort of animal sacrifice. So he made a plan to appear like in such a way that the sacrifice could be stopped and people can be drawn to ahimsa path. So even though it's his plan, but we can just imagine like some of the philosophy, they are so limited in their like people so if you say that there is only one name, can be only one name of God, like only one path, only one way, and rest of it is non-believer and non, they will never get a salvation. And our fun is to just sit in a heaven when we attained our liberation and just see them suffering, like that kind of philosophy. You are actually, it's not even like the lowest form of Sanatan Dharma, it's actually adharma. It becomes adharma, and then you are following that path, thinking of and trying to influence people as well to join the same ideology, so that you can your salvation is even more strong. But you are actually taking a fish out of water and putting it on tree and saying that I saved the fish's life. Like so many philosophies. You just again and again, it's just we are so lucky that somehow we got reach to at least Prabhupada's feet, and with Vaishnava's sangha.
Very well
Right.
said.
Haribol.
Haribol.
One interesting point about movements is that most other gurus, everybody knows the guru's name, but they don't even know the name of the society. And Prabhupada was so humble that he only wanted Krishna's name to be known. If you ask most people, who is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, and it'd be very rare somebody will know. But if you ask who was any of the bogus gurus, and everybody will know, because they make sure that they were famous and like that. But Prabhupada was totally the opposite.
Yeah, very well said.
1,000,000% correct. Yeah, I found out his name like so late. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
John,
But most people know Hare Krishna, like they've heard, like me, like I resisted becoming a devotee because
What were you saying? Can't hear you anymore.
I think she got cut off.
Okay.
Hello?
Yep, you're back.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened. I got booted. I was just gonna say is I had like a negative impression of Hare Krishna, which I didn't know anything about. All I knew was that it was like bad. So I was very much resistant to surrendering to Srila Prabhupada. But after I tried to prove him wrong, he beat me. I had to surrender. I had to admit defeat because Srila Prabhupada was right in everything that I challenged him on.
Chai. I really liked what Janas Priya Prabhu said about how the other gurus having their name first. It reminds me of that guru from California who gave his name, I'm the great giver.
Who was that?
Adida, I'm the great giver. He rewrote all of his books at the end of his life. Me, I. It's ridiculous.
What's his name?
Adida. It's spelled like Adidas, the athletic brand, but it's Adi
Adidas.
and then space da.
There are so many, countless. Like usually
Yeah.
they're once they get famous, they start selling some products, but on the pen there will be photo or name of the guru on the cup, like everywhere. So yeah, just because that's what I've seen, like Kanchan Kamni Kirti, like the attraction of the opposite gender. Even people conquer that, or the desire of wealth as well. But because they just somehow realize that after they'll be dropping the body and leaving this, like even those two level can people conquer, but the level of getting the kirti, yash, like the fame, is just something, because they know even after they go, it will be somehow their name and everything like that. That is something is just so hard to so hard to just remove that desire.
Narayana Prabhu, have you heard that? I heard this statement that in the future there will be a thing called the Prabhupada Sampradaya.
What?
Prabhupada Sampradaya, like there's a Ramanuja Sampradaya and different Sampradaya. So there will be.
I don't know.
They say the way that happens is with enough people said, my guru said this. If there's millions of people saying, then that's usually what happens.
No, Sampradaya is a very specific thing.
Yeah, I understand the mechanics of that. I just was wondering if you heard that before.
Never for Prabhupada, no. He will be the initiating guru for the next 10,000 years. And that's sort of a mind-boggling notion, considering how everybody is standing in line wanting to become a guru. But he will be the actual initiating guru, as we have seen in our earlier discussion. That will be the process by which people can go back to Godhead. Diksha Shiksha Guru will be there in the form of Srila Prabhupada, not just now, not just for the next few years or decades, but for the next 10,000 years. It's a little mind-boggling, but a very factual situation. And why not? If you stop to think of it, people say, well, what about the living guru and all? But what about Lord Buddha? Lord Buddha, a statue of Lord Buddha, he is worshipped today as Buddha in the form of his murti. So why shouldn't Prabhupada be the Acharya for the next 10,000 years? I mean, it is simply a question of, we have his recorded kirtans, we have his recorded lectures, and these things can be memorized. The kirtans can be the standard for chanting in the temples. So when people are chanting in the temples with the kirtans, they can be chanting the melodies and the sound vibration that Prabhupada brought with him from Krishna Loka. This is sort of mysterious and mystical, but it's a fact as well. Why not? I mean, if Krishna can come from Krishna Loka, Lord Krishna came as Radharani, and Krishna himself and Radharani came as Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago. So why is it seems so impossible for Prabhupada to be the Acharya for the next 10,000 years? If he is not the Acharya for the next 10,000 years, then what will be the next 10,000 years? That's what we're dealing with here, the League for 10K. The League for 10K means 10,000 years. 10K, 10,000. So we are calculating how this is going to be going on for 10,000 years. And
Can you please
Is-
change
right?
Narayan's name?
yes,
I'm talking to Jonas Priya. Jonas Priya Prabhu, can you change Narayan's name from Mahaprabhu to Narayan?
Hold on.
Because you're the host. They kicked me out, so it may be the host.
Oh,
okay, so
I don't know how to do that.
so for 10,000 years, what's happening with you, Rupa? I can't hear your voice.
Well, I became the host somehow. And she's
Because it
asking me
kicked
to
me
do
out
something.
and it just chose you randomly.
Oh, okay.
So what happened to you being the host, Rupa?
I'm not the host anymore.
What
Because
happened?
you were gone, and while you were gone, Zoom kicked me out, and when it kicked me out, it made Jonas Priya the host, but he doesn't know how to use it, so
So why don't you become the host again?
I think
has to
Jonas Priya
designate
has
me.
to do it. He has to right click on her name and maybe pick host.
Let's see.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't
Not
give me a
good.
menu.
I think right now you're sharing screen. You can maybe undo
Well, we
that.
can hear you.
Yeah,
Oh, we got your whiteboard. That's what it says.
yeah.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But your voice is rather timid.
Well, we got like
rather-
25 minutes to go here.
Yes.
All right, sorry to interrupt you, Narayan. Please continue.
No, that's fine.
Deepak Prabhu, how did you join?
Yeah, Prabhuji. So I think, so there was a book. I'll just keep it very short, but there was a book that was with somebody for like 8-10 years. Was Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, that they didn't read. Somehow, just like I saw the book, and of course, in today's days, most of the time when we are in distress, like at least for me, So then I just somehow I felt like I should pick up and read a book. But how schools make you like I hated reading books and stuff like that. So because just the education
Yeah.
system, they program you in that way that you pass your education, you never want to touch a book, like so that time I thought that if I read from cover to cover, because the first time I read, it was pretty helpful from in that day whatever I was facing. So but I said that, oh, I should read this book. So when I thought if I read from cover to cover, it'll be very hard for me to even start or finish or stuff like that. So I just made this program that every day I just pray from Prabhupada's from Krishna, that if it is all true, maybe the thing comes which I really need to know today, right now, which will be helpful for me. Only that thing comes. So I just I used to open and for continuously so many days, the word the words, the verse, everything was exactly what I needed to hear at that time. So that time is just like blew my mind that all these things are pretty real, because before that I was pretty like Gnostic, you can say, not believing much, and even making sometimes fun of, like, God forgive me, fun of Lord, because in only Sanatana
Yeah.
Dharma, like in Krishna,
Were you raised in a Vaishnav family or
no, not at
atheist
all.
family?
Like just, Lord, you can say so, because in India, so people haven't got, like, they've got Shraddha, like they can just still bow down to a temple and stuff like that, but it's just like the divine knowledge, that part is so lacking that they
Yeah.
just got so just like that, in a normal household, and then no knowledge, and then just because in Sanatana Dharma, the Lord takes avatar, and then do leelas, human like leelas as well. So that time, for people like us, it's easy, or anybody easy to take their decisions and make fun and all that kind of stuff. So
How old were you when you saw the first Krishna deity?
first Krishna deity, maybe it must have been like because there are a lot of, I grew up in India, so there was a lot of temple we go like from childhood, so I must have seen
Yeah.
from very young age, but it's just like we never because there is no knowledge, I never seen it like we should see, like like see like try to see the God in, like and just knowing that there is God is taking service and giving darshan through that murti, but it's just we are so for millions of lifetimes we are so like we are not able to see from our imperfect senses. So in that way, in that sense, I never saw actually until the temple in in Auckland, in New Zealand, where I first associated that the DT is Prabhupada installed. So that was the first DT I tried to see, in that kind of way, in that sense that, okay, there might be God looking from there and stuff like that. So yeah. And then, I just start after a few days reading verses and stuff like that. I think it's pretty, obvious that there is something. But if that something is Krishna or not, that is something, I need to really, really find out. So then I started researching 1.5 years, because I didn't completely read the Prabhupada's book, and that time I had a silly notion that if I read and I believe completely this and I don't know other philosophy, then it will be like my search is incomplete, because in the back of the mind I might have that, oh, I didn't research other paths, and now I read and I believe, and and that's done. So I thought I first should read or understand every other philosophy as well. So that is how my journey started to research all the philosophies. Like there is all the, like there are thousands, like there's, so we know only 5 or 6 main ones, but there are like so many different philosophies that has been you can go through. So yeah, and at the end I found out like the dots connected, and I completely agreed, like, okay, Krishna is the in Sanatana Dharma as well, so this is the eternal dharma of the soul, like which cannot be changed even if you want to, like you have to go through its rule, like the birth, death, and all the, like, in the reincarnation karma and all the rules that the Lord has set up to run the material world. You have to go through it. I mean, you can deny it, but at the end it's just you get cheated. You try to cheat Sanatana Dharma, but you get cheated when the wood is taken from you, and like you are transferred to a different place. So, and in that Sanatana Dharma as well, there is so many, that's the beauty, because you can just want to do some little bit good karma and enjoy the senses. Even it gives you knowledge and resources of that as well, so that you can at least come to the path, just stop being a rakshasa or asur and just start some kind of path, and then gradually you can just take 1 or million or trillions lifetime, but you can just completely go step by step, and then reach to the highest, which is like the Vaishnavism of, like, even if Vaishnavism, Krishna bhakti, like so yeah, there is a that is the beauty, and everything in Sanatana Dharma is eternal. Like the jiva is eternal, even the prakriti in one sense is temporary, because everything deteriorate and it just remove, but like in a bigger picture is always, like, it's been also going like trillions of unlimited lifetimes, because it again merges in the Lord, and then again comes, and then again merges. So there is so yeah, if you look at the deep level, then you'll be able to understand that how this philosophy make complete sense. And even in that philosophy, you just come to the level of Vaishnavism. In Vaishnavism, from Narayan Bhakti, yeah, you just come to Krishna Bhakti. So that's how yeah, it all started. But in short.
Jai Hari Bol. I love when you said that when you, this is a lot of devotees say this when you open any of Prabhupada's books, any book, and you have a question in your mind, and within 5 minutes your question is answered.
Yeah,
100% of the time.
So I see a devotee named Nick. I don't know if
oh, Nick, like... I invited Nick. He's my friend from Fiji, and I told him, please come and join us.
Wow, nice. Oh. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Jai, Nick.
Haribol.
He came to Hawaii and stayed in my house, and he's a great musician. He did a beautiful reggae Hare Krishna. Beautiful. Well done. He's the most handsome Indian man I ever met. He has a very nice dark skin and has sky blue eyes. This guy is exotic as they come.
Wow.
Yeah, nice. And yeah, and one thing I later on realized, like some of the people would have an idea that, like, let's say the Krishna took avatar even as Ram, as other incarnation in India, so it is must be like an Indian god and stuff like that. So later on I realized that he has taken avatar as a fish. Now which nationality a fish belongs to, or a tortoise, or like so that's how, like, Sanatan Dharma does not belong to one nation. It can never be belong to either one nation category or anything. Same as
Yeah, Prabhupada says it's like saying the sun is American or
yeah,
Russian, or come on, it's the sun. Krishna is like the sun, belongs to everybody.
Exactly. Every living entity. Yeah. So yeah, so that's when I realized these points. Then it makes sense that okay, that what is the highest or the truest thing must be universal. It cannot belong to like a certain group or something like that. So that is the final deciding point. And
Talking about Prabhupada's books, I just remembered the first book I had of Prabhupada. When I was young, I was obsessed with astral projection of out-of-body experiences. So I found his book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. And I read it, and when I was young, it made no sense to me. But I did get some, I did read it when I was young. I remember now.
Nice. Yeah. And yeah, this curiosity I always had, like always looking up, like and then just not knowing is so painful. Like there are so many stars and everything, and we just don't know anything. Like sometimes you just think that even if I can just know everything that there is to know, and even if I have like a 24 hours to live, then even it's okay. But the pain of not knowing, and you're not able to satisfy your curiosity, like it's so painful. But now with this Krishna consciousness which Prabhupada gave us, we can know everything and still can live in and grow in, and hopefully reach the final destination where we never there is a point that we don't have any knowledge, unless we want to do like a lila where we forget, like the lords do. But we always Satchit Anand is always there. So yeah. So that I read this book, so Journey of the Other Planets, and it was powerful, very powerful.
Deepak Prabhu, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm just in material world. Like a follower.
Are you in the States, or you're in New Zealand, or where are you?
Yeah. No, I'm in India now.
Oh, you're in India.
Yeah,
Acha hai.
Acha, ji. It's just and I'm feeling really good, like with the devotees sangha. Usually, like
we're so blessed to have this.
Well, you're
this
totally
nice...
welcome. You're totally 100% welcome.
This is the friendliest Prabhupada group that I found. Everybody gets a chance to talk and put your opinion. Narayan welcomes challenges.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. My God.
I find Narayan to be so. There's nobody like Narayan in this planet. I guarantee it. And he's 100% sold out to Prabhupada. No doubt.
I'm your servant. I'm not only your servant, I'm your eternal servant. So,
and I like it. I like it. He says, I'm really a rascal, like I'm a rascal too. But we're trying, we're trying. That's all we can do.
Yes.
Yeah. I see the
this has been an extremely wonderful session. Deepak, what the things you were saying are totally amazing. And we want you to continue to join in our sessions and to take part and to let us know how your progress is step by step. Okay? And we will be there with you. I may be in California, Ramachandra's in Sacramento, I'm in Los Angeles, and Jagannath, where are you?
Hawaii.
Minnesota?
Yeah, Jana's Priya's in Prabhu's in Hawaii.
Wow. So you see, what a wonderful arrangement. And now we're all working together. And that is the sublime factor.
Exactly. I'm so blessed. Yeah. And I would love to, like, any of you coming to India ever, I'll be very happy, because the Vrindavan is just like 2.5 hours.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
I would love to host you and show you around Vrindavan, and that'll be pretty amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I might
Right.
take you up on that someday.
Yeah, sure.
My
We've got
sister's an
plenty of-
Indian diplomat, so she's moving to New Delhi next, I think. So
You
it's her next.
said you were near New Delhi, near Haryana, did
just
you say?
Haryana, just like maybe 100 kilometers, 80 kilometers from Delhi, 1.5 hour, not that long. So
Wow.
yeah, that'll be really good. Yeah. So I would love to host you guys. Yeah, we've got plenty of space here in my hometown, and then Vrindavan is close by. We
That's
can just drive.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
amazing.
So how far are you from, say, Vrindavan?
Yeah, 2.5 hours, you can say.
Acha. And which
Yeah.
direction?
Gee, I'm very bad with direction. I maybe going.
East, west?
What is this side?
I think it's east.
Yeah, east. Yeah, I think. Yeah, but Vrindavan is just wherever the devotees are. I feel right now talking here in my room.
Are you near Mathura Road?
And sorry.
You're near Mathura Road? Mathura Road?
So
Mathura,
just
Mathura Road.
Mathura Road. Yeah. That is again, that'll be a little bit far away. So yeah,
Acha.
G. But I would love to take you guys. Any of you, just come and that'll be so good.
Yeah.
And just have be connected to people following.
You live in a city, or you live in a village, or you live in a
It's
in the
a
country?
town.
Town?
Yeah, it's a town. It's a reasonable amount of people in the town. So I wish I could just you want to just see like a little surrounding. So I'll just show you.
Get the tour.
I don't know if the camera you can just see it all.
Yeah, we can
Oh,
see.
John, beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Looks green.
Yeah,
Nice grass.
Yeah.
And you're up on an upper floor?
Yeah. Just maybe you can say maybe fifth. There is like 9 more floors to go, but yeah. It's just like a new in India. It's like a new system, like the building system. Usually, it's always like houses.
Yes.
Now it's just getting introduced. So yeah, societies like these are coming. So, but yeah, just need to somehow survive and just reach to Krishna Loka. I mean, there you can just create anything in your mind, and like I'm just so without the blessings of the devotees, you cannot. It's just you cannot reach. So I just always
Blessing is there.
blessings. Yeah, yeah, that is. Yeah, of course there is blessing. That's why we are able to discuss these topics. Otherwise, out of so many millions, they have nothing to do with like spiritual life, not even in a path, any kind of path, like whatsoever, or either the path of destruction of destroying themselves and other. So at least we are able to talk about the highest thing that there is to discuss, the Lord and the devotees. So yeah, blessings. Yeah, blessings definitely there. Yeah.
Yes, I was very fortunate to have the first Prabhupada give a Vrindavan Parakram in 1971. And I was lucky to be there on that Parakram. And we went on a bus all over Vrindavan to different holy places, to Barshana, to Nandagram, everywhere. And it was just too much wonderful.
I see you holding, that was in Barsana. You're holding Prabhupadaji's, in that.
Oh, you know about that?
Yeah, I saw. That was so nice.
How did you know that was Barshana?
I've been to recently Barsana. There are hills, so I just imagined like it might have been that place where
Yes,
you take.
I was carrying Prabhupada up the stairs. Now, what I didn't realize, being a Westerner from America, is that when you take someone up the stairs, you go sideways. So the person is sideways, but I went straight up. It was quite an angle. So Prabhupada, on the way down, I didn't get to take him down. He came down sideways with the coolies that were holding him, porters were holding him. But it was just an amazing experience. So you see, I'm standing like that, right? coming up the stairs with and you know it's Prabhupada in the sitting
Photo.
in the.
Oh, he is looking so happy.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's amazing that you would know that. That is very unusual.
Yeah, I think I went recently, to Vrindavan. I mean, there's just the place like you cannot forget, like Krishna, like it's everywhere. On the streets, the paintings, the names. Everybody is just
Yeah.
shouting the name, and yeah, it's just beautiful.
How wonderful.
But they say that wherever the devotee is in any place in the universe, like there is a Vrindavan shell around,
Yeah.
the devotee. That's how Krishna makes, because it's just not a category of a certain place. Vrindavan is like a chinmay, like a divine covering, you can say. So and always wherever the devotees are, whatever level, either they're trying to progress or they have attained siddhi, it is like a shell covering them. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
So Rupa, you're still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
How nice. But are you still managing the?
No, I'm not. I'm not managing it. I'm not
Who's
the host.
managing? Who's managing it?
Jana's Priya is.
Oh, how nice.
I'm not doing anything.
Good job. It works.
We're so
We have
fortunate.
six more minutes.
Yeah, we're so fortunate that we have that we can take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. It's a very rare
Absolutely.
opportunity. And he's so ready to welcome anybody. If you have just a little bit of faith on Prabhupada, Prabhupada has a plan for every one of us.
So there's no difference. Yes, there's no difference. Oh, Jai, there's no difference between Prabhupada then or now. I was initiated in 1968, in San Francisco on September 20th. But there's no difference between then and now. You can be initiated also by Prabhupada now. And that's what we were looking for. And I want to say thank you so much.
Yay.
I have to apologize, Prabhu.
Haribo.
Deepak Prabhu, I have to apologize. I was not feeling particularly at my best tonight, but I was so happy to see you at your best. And it was a very wonderful experience.
You guys have so much, and as I said, like years from decades from now, these recordings people will be like learning so much. And I can say that they say that whoever's initiation, in the name of initiation, whoever gives you divine knowledge, that can be your spiritual master. We are all getting divine knowledge from Prabhupada, straight from so in any way, when we're reading books, we are getting initiated. In any way we are reading books, we are getting an association of Prabhupada in any way. So and the Guru Tattva, it is billions of times mentioned. It can never be dead. It's like saying the Lord is dead, so which is like insane. So the Guru Tattva is because when the spiritual master, they start on a journey to teach, to initiate and stuff like that, said that Krishna, they request Krishna to take over their senses, their body and everything. And it is actually not it is actually Krishna who's directing the master to do this, say that, and navigate everything.
Yes.
So
exactly.
I like to welcome Nick. This is his first time in this group, and you're very welcome to come and join us every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday sometimes.
Yes, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was nice to hear everybody. It's really nice today.
Yeah, it was a remarkable experience. And thank you, Deepak Prabhu, who gave us such a clear, well-considered program in your mind and in your heart that it was just very excellent to hear. and we'll continue. We'll work with you closely and make it happen until
It's just
maybe
that-
there's hundreds, thousands of
exactly,
your
exactly.
people.
Always the few, always the first few, center is always the tricky ones, like where you need to put effort. But after that, it's just multiply very quickly,
Yeah.
because once the process is set, then people can just come and copy, come and copy, come and copy. So I'm very positive. Like even if I just give whatever life I've got now left, if I dedicate, I'm very positive.
Yeah.
Like there will be a really good amount of centers that will be open,
That's right.
and once they are open, people can just come, and it's just the basic principle is intact always, that the Prabhupada is the Shiksha Guru, guider, and the instruction that we
Exactly.
follow, and the rest of them is just like copy and paste. So people will be, I think, really good time is coming. So
Yes. So people can have that opportunity, and you will be able to show them exactly what to do.
yeah, exactly.
I appreciate that.
Very well, very well. And there will be a lot of your guidance, or whatever guidance you don't even know that you have given through all the videos. It is so helpful. The first time I got connected last time, also I was already watching a video of yours. So as I said, these videos will be a guiding factor for a lot of people later on, like a lot of people, let alone in coming decades. So that is free. Yeah, remarkable.
Got it. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So Rupa Manjari, what do you have to say?
I have to say that we have 1 minute left to go.
It's crying time.
Oh, that's very good. So
Thank you,
Jagannath
everybody.
Prabhu, it's so good to have you here.
It was nice to have talk with
We
you
have
all.
very brilliant people on board here. I'm honored to meet you all, to know you all, and to serve you all.
Okay.
And that is
Okay,
my
it's 10
greatest.
o'clock, everybody.
Haribol.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories.
All
Bye.
those-
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Haribo.
All glories to Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
So,
Jai Jai Shri.
so Rupa, can you?
I
think
guess
it's-
I
close
have
out
to
the-
shut it down. I have to
Yep.
shut it
Okay,
down,
you-
right?
As soon as
shut
you
it
leave,
down,
it'll
okay?
stop.
Yeah.
Jai Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Until next time.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nick,
Yes. Hare Krishna.
could you send me that Hare Krishna reggae tune?
Okay. I'll have to look it up.
It's
It's been a
somewhere.
while. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
I'll send it to you.
All right. So how you like the group? It's nice. That's friendly. It's open.
Yes, it was good. It was good.
This
I
happens
liked it.
tomorrow again, but unfortunately, they have a new code every week. So
Okay.
he needs to figure out how to do it, because the other groups I attend, they have the same code for life.
Life. Yeah?
So
Okay.
maybe you could help. Ronald Singh is the Prabhu that runs the show. Very nice
Oh.
devotee, Indian
Okay.
fellow from Sacramento.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could, if you want, you can get me in touch with him, and I
Yeah,
can-
we'll stay in touch now that we're back on track here.
Okay.
I miss you, man. I think about you.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you,
amazing
Janice.
that you're doing good. Okay, I'm gonna just log out. See if I
Okay.
can do this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.